Very exciting evening tonight. Michael Bilo is in the debate prep room. He is prepping the candidates right now, though I have a creepy still of his face up on the screen. This is the part of the show where I stall because people who are watching live are subjected to a 30-second commercial. What is the commercial for? Only time will tell. That's right, tonight is a very special night. Of course, President Trump, Joe Biden canceled their debate on Thursday. They backed out. Neither of them wanted to debate. Aha, there is my neighbor celebrating the debate by having a party. He's got his light on behind me, as you can see. We've got 5 candidates for you tonight. Oh, Michael Bilo has come alive, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is. Very exciting tonight. Five candidates will enter, only one will win. We're going to need your votes. Okay, folks? So, without further ado, I'm going to get this started. Oh, Bilo, can you hear me? I hear you. Bilo in the room talking to the candidates. It's very exciting. This could change the future of America. Right here tonight. You hear the Skype noise. I just heard a Skype noise. I don't know if that came through on the OBS. Bilo, can you hear me? This is very exciting, folks. We're going to get started. Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting the thumbs up right now. The second presidential debate brought to you by Dark Matters. Here it is. Live from Los Angeles, California, this is Dark Matters presents the second presidential debates.
There we go. That's great. Welcome, everyone.
Okay. Oh. Hello? Yes, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay, we good?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
I'll turn the light on.
Yeah. Y'all, I don't need no light. Turn that light up.
You're right there, Mr. President.
Yeah, y'all see me pretty good?
Yeah.
Look good,
cool.
yeah.
All right. Turn it up a little bit, Malachi. I can't hear them.
Welcome to the second presidential debate here live on This is Dark Matters. We have 4 presidential candidates here with us today. Independent Kyle Kenley Kopitke from the Prohibition Party, Phil Collins from the Life and Liberty Party, J.R. Myers. I'll edit that and fix that. And not currently in frame from the Democratic and CUP Party is President R19 Body. Gentlemen, welcome to the second presidential debate. Trump and Biden were not able to have their presidential debate, so we're very glad to have you all here and actually have a real debate.
Thank you.
We randomly picked the order. So, Mr. Kopitke, can you start with a 1-minute opening statement?
Thank you. Thank you, Frankie and Michael, for hosting the debate, as well as Lila for being the producer and doing the groundwork. Good evening, my fellow Americans. My name is, as mentioned, is Kyle Kenley Kopitke. 2 of the issues that are very important for me are vaccine safety. It is my belief that the mumps, measles, rubella vaccine, commonly known as the MMR, causes autism. Other vaccines cause SIDS, other developmental disabilities, And also another one of my key issues is the trade deficit. We are building China's military, just like we built Japan and Germany's military prior to World War II, and that did not work out. So we need a dollar for dollar trade agreement with the Chinese beginning the end of 2021. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Myers, your opening statement.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. Dark Matters, a show like that, how can we go wrong approaching Halloween? I was like, maybe we'll get into some interesting discussions tonight. But so anyhow, yeah, the paranormal, let's introduce some of that into this debate. That would be kind of interesting. I'm all about the Universal Debt Jubilee. That's the main centerpiece of my campaign. Now that we are witnessing the economic collapse globally due to the coronavirus pandemic, and we see a lot of governments responding by massive debt packages and entitlement programs. I say let's not indebt the future in perpetuity, but let's have a universal debt jubilee and forgive all debts so we can reset the economy according to a principle found in the ancient book of Leviticus. So we also need electoral reforms to go along with that because the system is totally corrupted and biased, and we have a two-headed duopoly that controls the show, so the people's voices and the needs of the people are not really being addressed or met effectively or at all, really. So we get the crumbs of what the elites choose to, throw off the table. We need to change
Thank you,
that.
Mr. Myers. That's just cutting everybody off at 1 minute, but thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
And Mr. Body, would you like to give your 1 minute opening statement?
My name is President R19 Body. And as your president, your leader, your servant, your lover, your defender, I'm here to make every American laugh. And when we say laugh, we mean love and forgive. As a presidential candidate in this life, I have lied, I have cheated, I have committed adultery, I've experienced every form of sexual perversion in my mind. Still struggle with some of them to this day. Yet I'm here as a presidential candidate by order of the highest. And the one thing that we will establish when we say love and forgiveness is the mercy seat. Because what you all are hearing is the voice of mercy, which is me.
Thank you. And Mr. Collins, your opening statement. And you'll have to click unmute.
Okay.
There you go.
Hi. Thanks for inviting me. I have a BA in political science and master's in public administration. I was Navy for 21 years, living 6 months near Baghdad. When I lived in the Chicago area, I was elected to be a township trustee. The Prohibition Party believes a sustained program of education and legislation going from a local to a national level is the best way to restrict alcohol. We care about many other issues. Our platform states Prohibition Party is pro-life and pro-gun rights. We think the federal government should enforce immigration laws better, should have a balanced budget amendment, and education should be controlled by local governments and state governments only, not the federal government.
Okay, thank you very much. So for our first question, one of the biggest issues facing Americans today, of course, is the coronavirus, COVID-19. Case numbers look like they're going up. So I guess the question is, do you approve of President Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic? And if not, what would your administration do differently, or what do you wish his administration had done differently? And Mr. Myers, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, I actually don't approve of any of our so-called public leaders' handling of this crisis because it's done nothing but sow confusion into the minds of the people, so the public doesn't know what to believe from day to day. So I believe that we should operate under facts, not under hysteria. And I also believe that it should be individual responsibility rather than government edicts. We've seen a lot of mayors and governors overstep their constitutional authority by imposing these lockdown orders. And a lot of them are being overturned in the courts, thankfully. But we must never allow our liberties to be sacrificed for convenience or even for safety, in a sense, when it's just based on hysteria. Now, again, if we have facts, let's have facts and deal with the facts. But I don't want to deal with the hysteria from the left or the right. I want to deal with reality.
Hey, Mr. Kopicki, how do you feel about that? Oh, sorry, you're gonna have to unmute. You're gonna have to unmute yourself. You'll have to click unmute there.
Aha. Okay.
Aha, there you go. I'll ask the question again so I can cut it together. Mr. Kopicki, what do you think about that?
Well, I am not sure exactly what is going on with this pandemic. Is it a plandemic? Is it another false flag like 9/11? I lived through the swine flu pandemic that was supposed to hit us in 1976. One of my friends received the vaccine and he became paralyzed from the neck down. So first thing we have to do is figure out what's going on. We have people in line that don't get tested, leave the line, and then they get a phone call the next day saying they were positive. We have people dying, but we don't have any Republicans or Democrats in Congress dying from this. We don't have massive waves in Africa where they don't practice social distancing. So in the homeless community, the same thing. So we need a president that will find out what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Body, what is your take on the pandemic? Do you approve of President Trump's handling of the pandemic, or do you agree more with Mr. Myers and Mr. Kopicki? Where do you stand?
Can I be heard again?
Yes, we hear you great.
All right, good. As far as President Trump's handling of the pandemic and the government's handling of the pandemic, the question is, when did the pandemic start? Right? January 24th, 2019, according to the USCongress.gov, the CARES Act was drafted in the House of Representatives on January 24th, 2019, sent to the Senate on July 2019, right? Then for a final drafting and approval by the House and the Senate on December 24th, 2019. Why is that important? Because we were told by the American media that December 24th is the day that they were impeaching Donald J. Trump, but it was the day that they were finishing the CARES Act, C-A-R-E-S, right? The Corona Aid Relief Economic Stimulus Package was completed December 24th, 2019, 7 days before the first so-called coronavirus case went viral. So you're asking me about how do I approve? One thing I will say, that same package was signed by Donald Trump March 27, 2020. So regardless of who's planning what, the one thing I will say is, when I told you all earlier, I'm here to make you laugh, love, and forgive, starting with Barack Obama, starting with Clinton, starting with, when I say Clinton, I mean Hillary and Bill, and starting with Joe Biden. They got some explaining to do. And if they humble themselves with love and ask for mercy from the American people, because I know what everyone has done. That's why I told y'all before, in closing on my part, as a presidential candidate, I know what it's like to lie, commit adultery, experience perversions, you know what I mean, to cheat, understand, but my life has been hijacked by a greater entity that's got me running for president. And so I'm not here to play around. If you are humble, you will be forgiven. Mercy is the key.
Thank you, President Body. Let's see, Phil, or Mr. Collins, your response to the way that the pandemic's been handled.
I think I approve of most of what President Trump did, because in January he stopped flights coming from China, and I think that was a good decision. I'm glad that he got opinions from many doctors, including the people from the CDC and NIH, and Dr. Ben Carson, since he's a doctor in his cabinet. In some countries, like in Europe, there are national shutdowns when all businesses were told to close. I'm glad that President Trump didn't do that, because that would have been too much federal control. So I think he did some good things about the virus.
Now, the last thing on the coronavirus here, if a vaccine is approved in the next few months, if it's given an emergency use authorization, or if it's approved, would you take the coronavirus vaccine if the federal government said it was safe? I guess we'll use the same order. Mr. Myers, would you take that vaccine?
Absolutely not. No, and I don't believe anybody should be forced to take any vaccines. So I hope that it doesn't come along with a mandate for mandatory vaccination, but I fear that that's exactly what they're proposing, and we must oppose that on constitutional grounds, that no one has the right to inject any foreign substance into another person's body without their expressed consent, informed consent.
Mr. Kopicki, how about you? Would you take the COVID vaccine?
No, our vaccines are just not safe. We have big pharmaceutical corporations donating millions and millions of dollars to the Democrats and Republicans. The FDA, the CDC, they're all compromised ethically and professionally. No, and my concern is these forced vaccines of the MMR and others, they're just going to try and roll out the vaccine for this particular issue, and people are going to get developmental disabilities. 1 out of every 2 Americans now has a developmental disability. It is the vaccines that's causing this. Thank you.
Mr. Body, how about you? Will you take the COVID vaccine if and once it's approved?
First off, the moment we take office, understand that y'all are on the line with the President of the United States of America. I'm already the president. And the first thing I've been advising Trump, he loves me, I know him. He's written me, he's emailed me as recently as last month, asking me to help him find the cure. Because I did an interview with CBS News. And on that interview, we began to explain to everyone, you can see it on our YouTube page, beloved, that we are introducing Health Cure. And we said that the cure is biomolecular medicine, prescription light. Understand that when they talk about Regeneron, right, they're trying to figure out what I was talking about. The reason why they say Regeneron is because it means to regenerate, meaning to the cellular and to the atomic level. I said to all of the candidates and to Trump and his team, they've been trying to get me. I said, listen, we're not going to let no one know what the formula is until you give me more press. Everybody wants to bite pieces from my campaign. You know, Kanye West repeating what I say. I love him. He's my little brother, right? But no one wants people to know about me. So yes, we're introducing health cures. And will we take the vaccine? Let me tell you something. Won't be no need to take the vaccine. You want to know why? Because the day I walk in office, the plan is busted up. That means everybody that wrote that and signed that CARES Act that I told you about, January 24th, 2019, they're going to my military tribunal. And they got some explaining to do. You understand? Because they're all loyal to China. And this will not be the United States of China, right? It's going to be United States and Israel, right? United under my administration. So the game is going to stop. It's pneumonia and tuberculosis. I end it like this. When you say corona, what you're saying is, listen, the space of the head of a frog. The word corona means crown. And underneath the crown of a frog is a space called tuberculoid, where you get tuberculosis, which is a fatal respiratory disease. I want everybody to understand that they dumped CDC and the WHO. I told everybody, I said, when I get in office, y'all are gonna, listen, face my military tribunal. If we find you guilty and arrogant, then you will do time. You will go to Gitmo. unless you get more mercy, unless you repent right now. And don't you know that since I've been saying that, they've been switching up their policies, trying to say, oh, it's not contagious. I told Jerome Adams, I said, stop lying to the people and telling everybody it's contagious. Y'all know what you did. I know what you did. You understand? So a whole lot, let me tell you this. CDC released a stat talking about 210,000 people died and 94% had underlying symptoms and only 6% had the coronavirus. You wait till I get in office. They lie.
We have a new participant, Jerome Siegel from the Bread and Roses Party, has just joined us a bit late. Welcome, Mr. Siegel.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
Oh, no problem. We're talking about coronavirus right now. I'll give you both questions. I'll let you ponder on them while I ask Mr. Collins. But the first question was, do you approve of Mr. Trump's handling of the coronavirus? And the second question is, would you take the vaccine if it's available today? But Mr. Collins, I'll have you answer that second question, the vaccine question, and then Mr. Siegel will go to you.
I can't be positive because the vaccine hasn't been released yet. But if it is available, I would do a lot of research about that, like how many people were involved in the testing, and whether any of them had any side effects, and if so, what the side effects were. And if I did a lot of research and found that I think the vaccine was safe, then I'd probably agree to get the vaccine.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Siegel, your take on President Trump's handling of coronavirus, and would you take a vaccine if one was available?
Yeah, well, on Trump, I mean, I think he's been horrible. Just a complete disaster. One of the things I think that to me is really the most shameful thing, and it goes well beyond Trump. I mean, it's really about our country, but he's the most powerful person in it, and therefore is the most responsible, even if he didn't create the underlying problem, and that has to do with the elderly. It turns out, as we know, I mean, the vast majority of people who've died from this have been, over 65 and over 70 and so on. But it's not just that. It's that if you look at nursing homes, in some states, it's as many as 50% of the people who died in nursing homes. And this is because I think of the condition of these things all along. But once it became clear, I mean, these were essentially death traps. It was like being trapped on in a submarine with a communicable disease, and they should have just all been taken over. I mean, I don't know what it would have taken, but even if you had to use the National Guard basically to nationalize every single one of these nursing homes and spread them out, and essentially, it's not just that Trump did nothing. Mostly the society as a whole just didn't pay much attention. The data was out there, and then with the rest of us, I mean, this whole thing about the mockery of masks and so on, it's so stupid. And the thing about Trump is that he's such a crackpot that you can't even explain this in terms of the standard Trump thing, which is that the only thing he cares about is Trump, because none of this worked for him. If Trump, in fact, had been a forceful leader and had, taken the damn thing seriously, and even if he had gone too far in the other direction, the whole country would have rallied around him, and he'd be coasting to re-election. And it did not take any sort of political genius to see that. So it's all nutty, and it's just who we're dealing with is just a nutty character there. As the second question about me, well, I've got a half dozen underlying conditions, so I'm highly shut down here because of the virus. If I was to get it, it would probably kill me. I would probably want to take a vaccine fairly soon, but I'm a little bit cautious about it. I don't think I'm going to be rushing out there in the first, in the first week to get it. And there are probably 2 of them that are going to be ready, in a month or 2. And I probably want to get a little bit of information as to how that's going. But I'll take a vaccine fairly early on.
Great. Mr. Siegel, I wanna go back to you just because we didn't have a chance to introduce you. The Bread and Roses Party has some element of socialism in its platform, and that word has been sort of thrown around a lot in a negative context in the media, certainly by President Trump. Can you explain your major political beliefs?
Yeah, well, a lot of my stuff actually comes out of a book that I wrote a number of years ago. It was called Graceful Simplicity, The Philosophy and Politics of the Alternative American Dream. And with respect to socialism, with socialism, it's worth sort of distinguishing means and ends. And so there's, on the means side, people are very familiar with what makes socialism distinct. Not Bernie Sanders' thing, because his view is, he basically didn't really want to talk about socialism, and so he identified it with Roosevelt and the New Deal and so on. But socialism traditionally has been associated with social ownership of the means of production in one way or another. It could be ownership by the state, or it could be ownership by the workers themselves. But basically, the structure that is, from an economic point of view and say classical Marxist point of view, what makes capitalism is not free markets, and it's not trade, it's not competition, it's not private ownership. All of those things go back thousands of years. What makes capitalism was a change in really the methods of production, basically the Industrial Revolution, which created productive mechanisms on such a scale that it was no longer possible for workers to own their own tools, or for work in small shops, or for an apprentice over years to become a master and acquire the tools. Basically, the methods of production were so vast that only vast companies and corporations and super rich people could own them, which meant that other people, to connect to those tools, had to sell their labor to them, and they became wage workers. Well, that never existed before on a mass scale. It's only about 200 years old. So the part of Bread and Roses that is socialistic actually has to do with getting beyond the job system. Our means for doing that are not the nationalization of companies. It's actually tied to simple living. It's to create a whole other realm of work that gradually supplants job system work. We call it passion work. And it's sort of, I won't go into it unless you want to hear about it, but it's vaguely connected to Andrew Yang's universal basic income, that we call it guaranteed basic employment.
That's great. Thank you, Mr. Siegel. I want to go. We don't have time for everybody to answer every question, so we can get through more topics. But Mr. Kopitke, what do you think of socialism in America, or its potential future here?
Well, I think socialism and communism really are children of globalism and the one world government, new world order. Both communism and socialism are pushing towards the one world government, new world order. I'm certainly against that. I'm a social progressive constitutionalist, support medical freedom and national health care for all under my Nixon Care program. But socialism, small business ownership moved America forward. And the Second Amendment, many communist countries took away the right to bear arms and closed down our churches and forbade the worship of Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. So socialism and communism and globalism sound wonderful, walking through the woods, throwing up daisies and so forth. But it's human nature is you're always going to have somebody running for the top of the hill. And that's why socialism and communism don't work. but I'm grateful for them, for their opinions and what they're trying to do, though.
Thank you, Mr. Gopigi. President Body, what is your opinion on about socialism in the United States?
Socialism in the United States. I feel like if it's socialism in the United States, if it's on the bottom, if it's low, I just feel like it's just another way of hypnotizing and mind control. And I feel like the only way so-called socialism can work is if everybody can get it on the top. And that's what our administration would bring in. You know what I mean? HJR, House Joint Resolution 192, right, gives all Americans the privilege of discharging debt, right? Debt is illegal, you know what I mean, according to the HJR 192, right? But they want to keep it secret. Under my administration, I'm pulling the covers off of it. So the moment you sign your signature to buy a house, you own it. So, a debtor is a slave, you know what I mean? And I will be educating the American people on that. I also want to apologize because earlier when we first started, my phone started ringing. I don't know if y'all heard that. And it was a man on the phone, right, asking about his dog. Now, my wife just bought this dog in this house, and this dog was born June 6th. And I was like, man, why are you bringing this dog in this house? He said, it's just a date, it's just a date. But let me tell you, my wife, they love this little puppy, right? His name is Fluffy. And that's the same name as, that the judge was talking about. But the reason why I'm pointing this out, there are no coincidences. It was a distraction. Because my vice president, he called me and said, yo, get a 1-minute speech together. And I said, okay, what can I say in 1 minute? So I was in the shower getting it ready. And I was going to tell you all about, the things that I broke up at first, which is, lying, adultery. I was telling you about my past life because I'm a multi-dimensional being just like all of y'all here. Right? My past life, I did a lot of things. But the Holy Spirit, by way of the angel Michael, right, basically abducted me in the spirit and said, no, do it this way. I used to love smoking weed. I enjoyed it a lot. And the spirit came to me and said, yo, stop smoking. And I'll change your life. And my life has changed. Why am I pointing all this out? Because what we need in the United States right now is real. We need truth. We need love. We need truth. Everybody else, this is supposed to be a debate, and everybody seems all serious, man. And you know what's real? Let me tell you something what's real, man. We got to come up out of it. Yo, we got to start loving each other, laughing, and we can talk about these things, but we got to expose what's really going on. What's really going on? You talking about socialism? Whose idea is that? This is not going to become China. What they're doing in China, controlling people. Listen, my grandkids and yours, I'm going to leave it on this. It's not going to China and be working in no sweatshop. Let me tell you why everybody's here having this conversation. I like the bread and roses. That's hot. But the real deal is, right, Obama, Clinton, Carter, a lot of people, generals, ex-generals, right, Kamala Harris, she's a senator. Y'all didn't see that email that came out, right? China wanted to do business with lawmakers. It's a whole lot of people that are complicit, and I know who they are, but I'm not going to condemn you. I'm going to say, yo, you better repent. You better not be arrogant. You better say I'm sorry. Because, listen, they were trying, y'all didn't see Simpsons? Y'all know this is a paranormal, right? But why is it that the Simpsons, right, make more accurate predictions than a lot of people in the church? Because the Simpsons talked about Kobe dying. They showed you that. They showed you Prince dying. And they showed you a coffin of Trump. But that didn't happen the way they thought because time travel is involved. What you think Walter Reed is? What you think that is? It's a time tunnel in there. And people don't know because a lot of y'all can't see, but I'm here to see what's really going on. Let me tell you in closing, right? One thing they will not do under my administration is make y'all slaves. Y'all will not be slaves. Y'all are not getting sent over to China or in American concentration camps because Obama and Clinton and Carter and all of these people and Bush, you know what I mean, made deals under the table. Yeah, because in order for money to be taken out of our United States Treasury, Congress got to write a law. And yeah, they send $1 billion here and $1 billion there, and then you get broken off in the alley. And then you owe a debt. No, America don't owe no debt to China because they're criminals. And under my administration, this lie that we got some national debt is going to stop.
Thank you, President Body. Thank you. I want to go because debt is a big issue. Obviously, like there's a student debt crisis, but there's debt. You know, President Body just brought up debt. I wanted to go to Mr. Myers to talk about your, debt seems to be a main plank in your platform. So I'd love to hear, what it means.
Well, I mean, obviously we have a debt tsunami engulfing the planet, and there's no way we're going to pay off these trillions and trillions of dollars of, debt relief packages as debt. So debt leads to bondage and servitude, and it will be a perpetual multi-generational bondage if we don't change the system. Basically, it's being set up to serve the elites at the expense of the masses. If you want to use, Marxist rhetoric, I'm not a Marxist by any stretch of the imagination, but that's kind of what they're proposing. It's a corporate domination coming down. So I propose that we, instead of doing that model, let's just have a universal debt forgiveness, eliminate all debts, public and private. From starting point 0, there will be no debts going forward. I mean, there will be new debts can be incurred from that point, but all previous debts will be forgiven. It has to be a total economic reset. It doesn't matter if you call it socialism or capitalism or whatever ism. Any system is going to lead to the concentration of economic and political power over a course of, say, 50 years. So every 50 years, it only makes sense that we reset that system in the name of economic justice for the people. And it's an ancient concept, and I think it's totally doable. And I believe that people are going to realize it's the only viable solution as this thing progresses.
Now, Mr. Myers, you said you talked about getting rid of all debts, public and private, which is
Yes.
of course printed on all of our money. I've got a $1 bill here to
Yes.
where that
Yes,
is
yes,
printed. So how what's do you think the impact on just the system of the U.S. money is going to be of this debt holiday?
Well, I think it's going to totally unfetter our economy, because look at all the debt our economy is now being weighed down by. These stimulus packages are now in the trillions. We used to talk about millions, then billions. Now we're talking about trillions. These aren't just numbers. These things are going to come down to bear down on us soon enough, sooner than we realize. So we just have to have a different take and not keep printing money and not keep saying that the government has all the answers and that more government spending is the answer. We have to let the economy be free. Once the debt's eliminated, there will no longer be that burden that will slow down the economy. And it has to be a universal debt jubilee. In other words, you can't do it by segment of population and divide the population and cause enmity and division that way. We need unity, not division. We've had enough division. These entitlement programs and debt that we're doing now just further divides the population. The universal debt jubilee will unite the people. All will be in it together. We will all share the burden together. We will all share the blessing and the relief of the debt together. It's a good plan. The only plan that's going to work. Mark my words. Universal debt jubilee. You have not heard the last of that, because there are no other viable solutions. No one's offering any other viable solutions.
Well, thank you, Mr. Myers.
Yes.
And unless anyone has a rebuttal to that, I'd like to move to the next
I
question.
got a rebuttal.
Okay, sure. Go for it.
I want to say, my man, I love what he just said, right? Because that's one of the things I wanted to bring out in my first minute. And the rebuttal is just a refresher, because what we're introducing is the clean slate, right?
Yes.
The moment we walk in office, all Americans will receive a clean slate. And the reality of it is there has to be a new economy, because the old way of doing things has got to stop. So how do you maintain? You have to bring in something new. You know what I mean? And I have the formula to bring in something new. It's going to be a covenant with all nations. And the United States and Israel, we're going to literally inherit all nations. China will be a subordinate. Russia will be a subordinate, but only under my administration, right? We are establishing the United States Peace Force, gang members, right, that are in the street, so-called would-be criminals. They showed you that movie Total Recall for a reason. And they showed you Demolition Man for a reason. Schwarzenegger, right, and Stallone was chasing Simon Phoenix, which was who? Wesley Snipes, a black man, running. All that is Black Lives Matter, which is controlled by China, controlled by Russia, controlled by Iran, because Islam has been trying to invade the United States. Under my administration, it's going to stop. And that's no pun against Muslims. So what I'm saying to you is, how do you keep the order and to make sure the criminals don't get involved? That this don't become a slave state, an all-out war, a civil war on every corner. Every man.
Mr. Body, Mr. Siegel, looks like you have something to say on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted two things. First of all, the issue of public debt is a very different issue than the question of personal debt. Um, let me talk about personal debt first, because that's the more important. It's really, to talk about personal debt is really to talk about half of a more fundamental concept. The more fundamental concept is personal wealth, okay? And personal wealth is basically what you're left with after you subtract how much debt you have from how much you own. In other words, your wealth is your net assets. So as it turns out, the people in the United States who actually have the largest amount of debt are the richest people in the United States, because only the rich can borrow vast amounts of money and go into debt. So Donald Trump, as a matter of fact, he just admitted to actually owing $400 million. Okay, well, you can't have that kind of debt unless you're super wealthy. And what he's got is, probably $1 billion of assets, so that he nets out at 600 million as his net wealth. So there is a very fundamental issue in the United States about the maldistribution of wealth. It's much more unequally distributed than the distribution of income. And there's especially a racial gap there. But for most people, for most ordinary people, the single biggest asset that they have, people in the middle class, actually is the equity that they have in their own home. Okay, and as you go down the income ladder, what you find, either with poor people or minorities, is that home ownership becomes a smaller and smaller percentage of the population. So I think that we do have to address this question of wealth inequality. And one of the most concrete ways of doing it, in fact, is to address the issue of home ownership. And I actually am very much in favor of something that would be a lot closer to what we did with the homesteading acts in the 19th century, when the federal government just gave away land to people who, went out to Oklahoma and put some stakes in the ground. I think we should basically make land and the ability to build on it and have your own home essentially available for free. But the people at the bottom, people at the top don't need that. And the last word I'll just say on this is about public debt. Well, we have, because of the bailout funds and so on, enormous, in the multi-trillions of dollars expansion of the national debt. But what many people don't understand is that much of that new debt actually is owed by the Treasury Department to another branch of the United States government. That is, we borrowed it from ourselves. The Federal Reserve actually now owns over $6 trillion of federal debt. So the largest chunk of the public debt is actually owned by another pocket. So, and on that debt, no interest is ever going to be, no taxes ever have to be paid for them to buy that, and there's no interest payment that's going to suck America dry, because it's just going from one pocket to another. And it's an enormous experiment in monetary policy that nobody thought was possible. We thought that what we would run into would be hyperinflation if we did this kind of thing. And amazingly, inflation has remained the same. But actually, the interest payments that the government will have to pay on these new trillions and the money to pay it off actually turn out to be a zero burden, because it essentially.
Thank you, Mr. Siegel. I hate to cut you off, but just because of time, we want to get to another issue.
Is that we're printing the money?
Yeah.
That is one.
Well, I just want to say the Federal Reserve is
We're just
illegal.
printing the
It's
money.
illegal. So.
Okay, thank you. And then, Mr. Kopicki, I saw you raise your hand. Did you have something on this?
Yes, I would just say very quickly regarding debt, we need to remove the Social Security earnings cap so the 1% can pay their fair share of Social Security taxes.
Yeah.
Stop car repos and home repossessions. I work for HUD. It's just a scam. And also, we need to remove student loan debt. Thank you.
Very much agree with you.
Thank you. Now I want to move to the next question, which is something Mr. Siegel alluded to, which is racial justice or injustice in this country. Now, many people are saying that America has a systemic racial bias. So I wanted to discuss that here. Mr. Collins, do you feel that we have systemic racial problems in this country?
No, but systemic, not nationwide. There might be racial problems in some cities or in some states, I think you should those city and county and state governments should be responsible for investigating those problems and arresting any people who have done anything illegal or racial purposes.
Okay, now, Mr. Body, obviously you're
Yeah.
the only person of color here in our debate tonight. What are your thoughts on this? Do we live in a racist society?
Well, I think everybody on this line, including me, is racist. You know what I'm saying? That means you love your race. And I believe that as President of the United States of America, right, we're creating the American Race Treaty. And the American Race Treaty is that we're going to race together, right, for the advancement of our nation. So under our administration, beloved, right, when we are asked the question, there'll no longer be the question, are you Hispanic, are you black, are you white? We're racing together to advance our nation. We focus on the children. The children become engineers, they learn technology, and that's a part of the race, right? We race to the moon, but we ain't did nothing since then. We need to, everybody, all the little kids now is focused on YouTube. You can become a millionaire, and right now we're the dumbest nation in the world, ranked number 29. So race is a strategy created by globalists, Illuminati, imperialists, in order to make a divide. Because the reality of it is, race is only important to those who are trying to use it as a point. Let me tell you something, as a black man, I love everybody on this line. You know what I'm saying? And I don't call white people crackers, and you know what I mean? But I might call my brother a nigger. You feel me? So what I'm saying is, it don't matter what we say, right? Amy, that lady, Judge Justice Amy, everybody talk about how intelligent she is and everything like that. But Amy is one of the name of the 200 fallen angels mentioned in the book of Enoch, right? She's intelligent because she's been here before. You talking about paranormal, but I can see right through it because she's blowing a red light. You understand? So I'm not looking at race in terms of your color, because you got what? Red veins, you got blue, you got green, you got color too, homie. I'm not the only one on this line with color. All of us are colorful in our own way. So it's a game. What are we? We a species. And what are we supposed to do? Advance. Why? In order to save this planet. Let me tell you, in closing, on June 23rd, 2014, I, President R19 Body, right, saved your planet from a massive earthquake, June 23rd, 2014, that would have rocked the Denali Fault, right, causing your planet to tilt on a 23-degree axis off of its axis, because the Denali Fault, if it ruptured, it would have destroyed the San Andreas Fault, and everybody on this line would be dead, because the tsunami would have wiped America out, and eventually Earth would have slipped off of this magnetic belt, and you all would have been in a star holocaust. My name is Melkor on the higher council. I'm the third of the 24 elders, right, that sits on a high council. I'm not chosen because I'm good. I'm not chosen because I'm better than anybody. I'm chosen because on an intergalactic level, there are two alliances. One is Ashtar Command, that's a federation that Trump belongs to, and one is the alliance of which I belong to. I am Riskian from the 19th galaxy called Iliyin. And all of this stuff is cute that y'all are talking about. But in your galaxy, in the 18th galaxy Milky Way, there's, listen to me, 72 governors. And there are 72 governors of the 19th galaxy that make decisions. Look me up. In New Hampshire, I got 72 votes, right? Why? I'm talking about the United States primary, Republican primary. You wanna know why? Because 100 white people showed up. 100 white people showed up and 72 voted for me. And listen, C-SPAN called my publicist and says, we will not allow him to get out. You understand what I'm saying? They say, we keep him under our radar. So this ain't got nothing to do with race. It's a species thing. I'm telling you, people are loyal on an intergalactic level. Some of y'all made decisions and agreements before you incarnated here. We got to save, listen, we've already saved the planet. Now we got to save this nation.
Thank you, President Body. I think sorry.
You're welcome.
Did somebody jump in? I didn't want to cut anybody off. Great. So for a lot of Americans, this race is it's not just about politics. It's also about the personality of the person who's sitting in the Oval Office. I'd like to go ask this to everybody. What do you want America to know about you as a human being that would make you a good president? So let me start with Mr. Myers.
Okay. Well, I wanted to go back to the last question briefly, and I just wanted to say that we're all members of the human race, that's for sure. And I like to think of it that way, that I'm a member of the human race. I think race is an artificial imperial concept if you look at the historical background of how it was used. I like the genetic services. I belong to Ancestry.com, and I just did a CRI genetics test, and that showed that I'm only 84% European. So I know I'm descended of the Métis people, the Cree people in Canada. So, you know, you can't just tell people's lineage by their outward appearance, that's for sure. So we have a lot more in common than that which would divide us. And I do, you know, back to the human race idea anyhow. Personality, the question being personality, what's, okay. Well, I think honesty, trustworthiness, you know, having integrity is important. I think we see a lack of that in most of the politicians out there, those that are elected. I think they stoop at nothing to aggrandize power unto themselves. At this point, it's pretty blatant and brazen. And so I think that we have a lot of antisocial criminal types that have risen to political leadership and basically criminal gangs. And we need to address that for what it is. And I'm hoping that, you know, with some of the reforms that I believe are coming, that we're going to see some people actually incarcerated and tried for their crimes against the people. And I'm hoping that that is in short order.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kopicki. Sorry, Mr. Rice.
Myers.
Sorry.
Myers.
Mr. Kopicki,
Yes.
what about you personally would make you a good president?
Well, I think we're all products of our life experiences, and that's what we bring in if we're able to be elected president. Certainly my time in the military in the United States Army during the Cold War, certainly my time as a diplomat in the United States Peace Corps for 2 years, certainly as a doctorate in public administration, certainly in donating a kidney to my brother, certainly as a father of an autistic child who watched a healthy young boy 45 minutes after his vaccine, his mind was blasted into autism. So those, and 2 years as a Christian missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So those type of things are my foundational building blocks.
Fantastic, thank you. Mr. Collins.
I was in the Navy for 21 years, and I've been a religious Christian all my life. My dad's a pastor, my wife's a pastor, I have a cousin-in-law who's a pastor. I was a president of a small church. Now, a lot of people who know me for a long time say I'm very honest, maybe too honest.
I have another question for you, Mr. Collins, just on your personal aspect. Obviously, you're running on the Prohibition Party, and for most people, prohibition is something that is, 100 years in the past. So why is prohibition important to you, and why are you taking up that banner?
Did you want me to answer my answer to that last question?
We will. We'll keep going on that question. I just wanted to ask that.
Because I'm partying, and I want to remind people about the harmful effects of alcohol, because it can help cause cancer and heart problems, and cause people to drink and drive. So I want to help educate people about those harmful effects, and persuade people to drink less and be healthier.
And what are your opinions on cannabis or marijuana?
We think it should be illegal except for medical marijuana.
And sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I didn't have anything. You're talking to me. Oh, okay. Oh, so Mr. Segal, if you want to talk about your personal qualities, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I don't answer this question in general, because you asked, what would make me a good president. First of all, I mean, it's ridiculous I have no expectation, of course, of being president, nor do I ask anybody to vote for me because they think that I personally would be the best president or the best person to be president. What I ask people to vote for me for is to express their support for a series of ideas that I've been trying to articulate, both value questions that I ask and solutions to how do we get there that I've been developing. But this question is an opportunity, I guess, that not to necessarily say some things about what would make me a good president, but it is an opportunity to say a few things about myself biographically. So let me just mention a few things. I mean, obviously I could go on for hours on that, but here are some interesting things. So I grew up in a very political household. Both my parents were socialists. My father was an immigrant, but he was an idealist and basically didn't really pursue any kind of career. And when he found himself in his 40s, he had 4 children and living in New York and didn't have any profession and ended up, like many other Jewish immigrants, working in the garment industry. So essentially I grew up, in a family with someone who was, a garment worker. But he worked very hard, and we had a decent living in New York. I had the good fortune to spend my summers with my mother's younger sister's family, and my uncle actually was an impoverished artist who lived in Greenwich Village, and so I grew up in 2 families, and he was actually the most dynamic person perhaps that I had ever met, and he could bring people alive and awaken you to just about anything. It was almost like Tom Sawyer. He had all the kids outside digging ditches to widen the driveway and thinking it was the greatest thing that they ever did. But what it brought home to me is where the good life resides. And I'd say that was my experience really of the way in which you don't really need material possessions to have a life of real abundance. You need many other things, but not necessarily material possessions. And so that's a very fundamental part of my involvement with Simple Living and my political agenda. And we don't have much more time, but I'd say going to the other extreme, just one unusual thing about me is actually that I'm a 12-year survivor of pancreatic cancer, which has about a 95% fatality rate, so that 19 out of 20 people who get it die within a very short period of time. So at the other end of the spectrum, I'm sort of, a survivor who owes their life both to medical technology and to some very fine doctoring and to some very fine doctors who really took things seriously. So I say all that because I and many other people are left very critical of our medical system, but on a personal level, it's truly astonishing what it can accomplish.
Thank you so much. Mr. Body, same question for you, but I want to also add on something that Mr. Siegel just mentioned, which is that he does not expect to win the election. Obviously, if you look at the polls, seems like former Vice President Biden is ahead by 8 or 9 points in the polls, and obviously nobody here's name is really appearing in the polls there. What makes you think, you've said that you are already the president, what makes you so confident that you will in fact win this election? And also giving you that previous question, what do we need to know about you and what would make you a great president?
Let me answer the previous first. Thank you. And I love the last person who spoke. I enjoyed that. In fact, I'm loving and enjoying everybody. The truth is, beloved, I was born with retinitis pigmentosa, what they consider legally blind. At the age of 7, I had my first experience with love. I felt the energy of divine love entering into my little body. And I was only 7 years old when that happened. the energy was light and it was green light. Can I be heard? I hear a lot of static. Is that
Yes,
what's
I
going
can.
on? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
think
hear you
that's
great.
somebody else's
All right.
mic.
All right.
We hear you.
Yeah, no doubt. So anyhow, beloved, that when that energy was pouring into me, I said, love, I feel love. And so at the age of 14, I did experience a translation into what I later found out was the Crystal City. You know what I mean? It was just a realm of love and light. And I said, wow, this must be heaven. And from that point on, I went seeking the kingdom. But let me tell you this, if I had it my way at times, right, I would have been a dope dealer. I had opportunity to sell crack and dope because I wanted money. You know, I definitely wanted the things of the world, all right? My spirit, I wrote a song called RSVP. I just wrote that today, which means ravioli, steak, vodka, please. That's what I would like to do. But I don't have my own will. You know what I mean? My life is really belonging to El Elyon. But let me give it to you in this way, right? I walked the streets as a homeless person for many years. People, I would ask them for 35 cents, right? If I said, if I can get 10 people to give me 35 cents, then I would have $3.50 to buy a sandwich. And people would walk by me, they would laugh, they would spit on me. And I heard a voice on the inside of me saying, they know not who they're disrespecting. Neither do they know who they're laughing at. I was blessed, make a long, wonderful testimony short, blessed with a new wife, new life, new home. I'm a homeowner, right? I'm a very, very, very successful person in life. And what I mean by that, success in life is just favor and blessings, not because of some luck, not because of great-mindedness, but a whole lot of favor and a whole lot of help. So what you are getting in me as President of the United States of America, just to finish the previous question, is a person for the first time ever that is all in all polarized. And what I mean by all in all polarized is that I am each and every person in this room. So the person who said earlier, right, the brother, or I'm saying all y'all my brothers, right, the candidate who said, right, the one who says, everyone sees me as honest. Let me tell you something. People see me as honest. People see me as good. But there's something called polarity. And polarity is a very wonderful thing taught by certain Egyptians like Tahuti that basically says likes and dislikes are the same, that everybody in this farm has the ability to become a serial killer. And everybody in this farm has the ability to become the most beautiful, the most loving philanthropist. The reality of it is all of us are in the all. And the only one among us who is all in all polarized is me. That's why I started off telling you, I've been a liar. And anyone on this line who say they never lied, right, let me know right now and I'll give you my crown, which I don't have a crown because I cast it down. I've cheated, right? I've committed adultery. You understand? And I started off that way because that's called polarity, which is truth. Because I cannot present myself to you as one dimension. They say, oh, this person is bipolar. I'm all polar. That means everyone in this room, I love you, I love you, I love you in the deepest way. That's why I signed on the dotted line to save your planet. You know what I'm saying? So everybody on this line is here because of a selfless act, meaning I'm doing what I'm told to do, not what I want to do. I have sex with my wife because I'm supposed to. I don't even have a will. I don't even know what that's like. And so when God told me on Saturday, to answer your question, why am I so confident, right? On Saturday, January 28th, 2018, right? 7 p.m., I was minding my own business in a state of peace. And I heard the Spirit say, run for president. Why Saturday, January 28, 2018? Because on Saturday, on January 28, 2006, a man named Rabbi Kalud died in Israel. I'm gonna end it by saying, when he died, he said the name of the Messiah would be revealed on January 28th, 2007, 1 year after he died. He had a dream. Right now, let me tell you, that date is significant because on January 28, 2020 of this year, right, your servant, which is me, right, President R19 Body, won the Republican debate on C-SPAN. Understand what I'm saying? On the same day, a litany of events on January 28th. I am chosen and elected long before the election. So who's winning in the polls? Let me tell you something. Joe Biden got some explaining to do. Hunter Biden, right, on his own email. Oh, they can say, Juliana, right? Presented the email. Where did Giuliani get the email from? A laptop, right? I'm sorry, from the FBI. Where did the FBI get the laptop from, right? They got it from Hunter Biden, left it at a computer shop. So it ain't about who presented it. On that letter, Hunter Biden, right, says he's not going to do his children the way his grandfather, Joe, does his children, which is taking half the salary that the Obama administration, was getting from who? China. What that got to do with the polls? I'm telling you right now that by October 28th, and y'all mark this word, by the 29th and the 30th, I told Joe Biden and I told Trump the same thing. And in closing, Joe Biden endorsed me. I said, if you endorse me, you will be free. Trump endorsed me. If you don't, you will fall. And what I mean by that, Leviathan. I said Trump is Leviathan. He's the serpent incarnate. What I mean, he is the king of pride. So nobody on this line got more pride than Trump. No matter what you say, you can be $50 billion, Michael Bloomberg, but you ain't got more pride than Trump, because he can say you kissed my butt in The Apprentice, right? You can say I made millions. He said I did that, and the president. But he doesn't supposed to be there on November 3rd. And Biden, listen, I don't know what's going to happen, but the secret is out. And Kamala, oh, I love you. I love you, Kamala. But guess what, right? It's Judgment Day. That means decisions. And the only way she's going to get out of that mess, because they said lawmakers were also involved working with China. Oh, yeah, they got a litany of names. And what makes you think I don't know the names? And I do. But I'm telling them right now that if indeed they repent and say, I'm sorry, America, I sold you out for China. And now the only ones who know and who owes China are these lawmakers. They're the only ones who own. We don't owe them nothing.
Thank you, Mr. Body. I just need to move. Now, Mr. Myers, I see you're having a strong reaction. Mr. Kopicki, I'll get you next. Mr. Myers, you had a strong reaction to that. Now,
Right.
what's your reaction to that?
Well, nobody here tonight is the Messiah. Sorry to break that news. Not here tonight. No, nobody here is going to be president in November. Donald Trump is probably going to be reelected. That's my prediction.
The devil is alive. Donald Trump is not going to be elected.
I believe he is. I believe he will be.
No,
But,
he's not.
But
Watch and
that's
see.
all the more reason that we need
Watch
to be
and see.
speaking out, and we need to be witnesses to, what we believe. And
You know what? You a
that's
liar.
what I'm doing.
You a polar. You know what? You lying, homie. I don't know who you are, but you speak a lie.
Hey,
Because you don't know what's going to happen between now and then.
Let
you
it
want to know
go
why?
back upon yourself,
No. You know what? I've already lied. That's how I got to be the truth.
okay,
I
Mr. Body,
can't
thank you.
tell the truth.
We're just trying to avoid the situation we had in the first presidential debate where Mr. Trump talked over Mr. Biden. So I
Right.
appreciate your
That's
passion.
what presidents do. That's what we do. We speak with passion. You ain't got no passion. You need to get off this line because you're full of lies. And ain't no truth
I
in you.
think
I don't know who you are.
They're just speaking loudly and speaking much does not equate to the truth.
You know what? You ain't told the truth since you've been on this line. I don't even know why you here.
Get me behind me. How's that?
A Boy Scout meeting, or is this a debate? Is it a debate or a Boy
It's a
Scout meeting?
debate. It's
Don't
a
waste
debate.
my
It's not a
time.
Boy Scout meeting.
Okay,
Well,
then act like it.
it was supposed to be a debate, but I think this is just a hysterical shout.
You can say what you want, but you just lied.
Well,
All right. Would you want to ask Frankie? I think you wanted to put this.
Yeah, Mr. Kopicki, I see you raising your hand there. Seems like you're anxious to jump in here.
I'm already the president, and my word is law. Whether you know it or not, you better find out who you talking to. I'm R19, baby. Watch
Okay,
and
is it my
see.
turn now?
Watch and see. Watch and see.
Okay,
Whether you
Mr. Body,
like it
thank
or
you.
not.
If you would just let Mr. Kopicki speak
Yeah,
just
let
a
him speak.
little bit.
Let him
Thank
speak. I
you,
give
sir.
you permission to speak.
Thank you for your passion as well. Well, when I ran for president in 2016, I knew I had to be on at least 30 state ballots to be taken seriously and to try and get 270. Well, this time in 2020, I'm only on 2 state ballots. So no, I can't get to 270. My only hope is in order to win is to win either Colorado or Vermont. And there's a few days before the election. So in this day of the internet, who knows what can happen? But God couldn't part the Red Sea unless Moses went up there. So I'm doing all I can, and we just leave it in the hands of the Lord. So I'll run again in 2024 if my health stays. But the only way I could win, or any of us could win, is if we can win one state, and then either the Republican or Democratic or the nominees do not get 270. Then it goes into the electoral
Let me tell you
college.
something. Let me tell you something. Biden's
Some other
votes will not count. Mark my words. Something is about to happen. Y'all better hear the voice of truth. Biden's votes is not going to count. He's going to jail. Watch and see what I say. And all of them are going down unless they repent, unless they endorse me, because I am the seat of mercy. Y'all better hear.
Well, thank
Okay.
you. That's what I wanted to say on how an independent candidate can win. It's a very small opportunity. But again, if you can win one state and they don't get, the Democrats, Republicans don't get 270, it goes into the electoral college, and some of those may change their mind. Thank you
Listen,
so much.
all of these people are going to be disappointed on November 3rd because Biden may not even make it. Y'all watch and see what I say. He's shaking in his boot. Why do you think Kamala Harris canceled her trip to North Carolina? It had nothing to do with nobody catching COVID. She's scared as hell. You want to know why she's scared? Because all of that judgment, I told you, polarity. That's why I came out and told you, I already know what it's like to lie. And you better know I know the truth because the
All
truth is in me.
polar.
And so Kamala Harris is scared because her butt going to
Okay.
jail unless she endorsed me. Because I'm the one that's going to say, I forgive you. None
Thank
of y'all
you.
going
Thank
to
you, sir.
prison.
Now, Mr. Collins, the same question to you. Why run? It seems quite unlikely that you'll be able to win. Why put yourself out there? Why run for president? What is your goal here, or do you think that you can win?
My goal is to get more votes than the Prohibition Party candidate got 4 years ago. That time he was on the ballot in 3 states and got about 5,900 votes. Now, I'm on the ballot in 4 states, Arkansas, Mississippi, Vermont, and Colorado. And I'm also on the ballot in Guam. They don't have any electoral votes, but they have a presidential straw poll, so they'll count the votes. And I'm also a write-in candidate in.
Well, anybody is a write-in candidate, right?
No, well, it depends on the state. In most states, the candidate has to fill out a declaration of a write-in candidate form, or else their votes won't be counted.
Interesting.
And some states require that the form being notarized, and others don't require a notary. And 4 years ago, the Prohibition Party candidate was a write-in candidate in only 6 states. I'll be a write-in candidate in at least 8 states. Minnesota, Washington State, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Iowa, and parts of Illinois and Tennessee. And I hope to remind people the Prohibition Party exists, and that our platform is more than just alcohol. It includes 10 issues, and
Great.
usually conservative views.
Great. So we are running up against time. I want to do closing statements from everybody. Let's start with Mr. Kopitke.
Great. How long is that? 30 seconds or 1 minute?
It's 30 seconds.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. I think our nation needs to repent and turn to Jesus. We also have to stop China with our trade deficit. We have to get ready for an EMP. We have to close down our nuclear power plants and fracking, stop chemtrails, and start to be nice to one another. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you for being nice to us, Mr. Kopitke. Mr. Siegel, your closing statement.
Okay, well, one of the things that's distinct about Bread and Roses actually is that we make a sharp distinction between means and ends. And we're pretty clear about ends, which is really has to do with values. With respect to means, which is really what public policies are, we're actually quite undogmatic. We think that one of the things that's really true about American politics and policy making is a lot of deception and often phoniness about how much anybody really knows about what the actual consequences will turn out to be on any specific policy. And so we try to take what I call sort of a modest epistemological humility, that is, humility with respect to how much we know. And so I may be the most schooled person running for president, having both a doctorate and 2 master's degrees, but I know enough to know that in terms of actually predicting and understanding what the consequences of the policies we advocate are, we're mostly just hopeful and have intuitions. But as to what our values are, I think we can be really clear, and it's often more valuable, I think, to talk about those value questions than policy questions.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Siegel. Mr. Collins, your closing statement.
Thanks for inviting us, and hope people will read more about Prohibition Party platform, and remember, want to discourage alcohol or pro-life, pro-gun rights, want to cut tax rates and cut spending, and enforce immigration laws, and get rid of the Federal Department of Education, because it disobeys the 10th Amendment. If people agree with all that, I appreciate their vote.
Thank you. Yeah, alcohol, definitely bad for you. And Mr. Myers, your closing statement.
Yes. The Life and Liberty Party was formed as an effort to unify the center constitutionalists. We would appeal to pro-life libertarians and pro-liberty constitutionalists. Without life, there is no liberty, and without liberty, there is bondage. So if people want to hear or learn more about us, go to lifeandliberty.com, lifeandlibertyparty.com, excuse me, or to my campaign, which is johnrichardmyers.com. And you can find out more about our party and help us to build a viable alternative to the status quo. It's an uphill battle, but hey, we all have to be involved if we want to make a difference. So here you go. There's room for people to be involved. Thank you.
Very much so. Obviously we all have to be involved, and thank you guys for being involved. To close it out, President Boddy, your closing statement.
First to be last, last to be first. First, I want to thank everybody for what you all are doing for me. My legal name is President. My middle name is R19. My last name is Boddy. I am here to serve. I want to let you know I love everybody on here. And I want to also say that if you all are true in terms of what you're doing for me, because each of y'all are running and walking for president, that's me, then I want you all to consider this. Joe Biden, right now, his name is complicit in an international treason. And whether it's true to your knowledge or not, he cannot run for president of the United States of America while violating Article 3 of the United States Constitution, which says you cannot give aid or comfort to an enemy, a foreign enemy. China is an enemy. You understand what I'm saying? Ukraine is an enemy. Russia are enemies. They're complicit in corruption. And so what I'm saying to you is all of the votes cast it to Joe Biden is a waste. And right now in Alaska, by the way, I'm on 30 ballots, 33 to be exact. You understand? Or 33 certified places in the United States as a write-in and independent, right? Now I want to say this in closing. Understand that in Alaska, they just came out with a paper saying that if you want to change your vote, if you early voted, you can change on November 3rd. Let me tell you something. Y'all better mark my words. None of the votes count. That's going to Joe Biden because he's right now, listen, according to the FBI, not according to Giuliani, not according to me, he's complicit. His name is mentioned in an international treason and or money scam scheme with China, and he cannot run for president. Listen, while complicit in a high crime and misdemeanor. I am the president. I call the shots. Peace. I love you all. And no, I'm not the Messiah. But the closest thing you're gonna ever feel, don't deny me. I'm here. I love you. Peace.
and we love you too. Frankie, I think you have one more, right?
Just a quick one going around. If you're forced to pick between Biden and Trump, who would you vote for today between Biden and Trump, Mr. Kopicki? Just one word answer: Biden or Trump?
No, I couldn't vote for either of them.
Couldn't vote for either. Mr. Collins?
Yes. Trump.
Oh, Trump. Mr. Myers?
I would not vote for either, but Trump will win.
Okay. And Mr. Siegel?
Definitely Biden.
Definitely Biden. And Mr. Body, I feel like I know you're Biden or Trump.
2016, I went in the closet, right? The elders came to me and said, if I don't pray for Trump in the closet, Hillary would win. And I knew what Hillary would do to children. So I went in that prayer closet and begged the Most High to let Trump win. I've already cast my vote, and he knows his time is up. He did a favor, right? And that was to stop China from taking over our country. His time is up. It's time for me and my family, whoever else on this line want to help me, walk in this White House and let's restore divine love. I love you all. Peace.
Thank you. And that's perfect sentiment to end the debate with. I'd like to thank all of our participants for joining us this afternoon, this evening, depending on where you are in the country. Thank you so much. This has been the official second presidential debate. Thank you to all our participants. Please, if you have any thoughts or opinions, give us a call, 818-650-3275. Leave us a voicemail with what you thought. If you have any additional questions, maybe we can forward them on to our candidates. Thank you, everybody, and good night.
Good night.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you
Good
guys
night.
so much.
Peace. Love you. Thank you. Bye.
Wow. Are they gone?
They're gone. Yeah.
That was crazy.
That was insane.
Wow, we're getting a lot of spam right now in the chat.
We
And
are.
I keep trying to ban them, and I can't ban
and
them.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. It is clearly people don't want this information out there, and they're trying to fight to keep it under wraps. But I think, for everybody who was watching the stream, participating in the comments, I think a lot of information came out.
Yeah, I think so. Sorry, I'm getting the poll results ready here. So I'm getting them up on the stream here. Wow. Guys, we should put the voting link back in the chat. Give you guys another moment if you want to vote for your favorite candidate before we reveal the official Dark Matters poll results. What do you think about that? Who are you who is your favorite candidate?
My favorite candidate, I think, is probably Jerome Siegel. I think he was definitely his grandfatherly nature. I know he didn't want to talk about his personal qualities, but I think he had some of the best personal qualities of anybody that we had on the debate stage.
Yeah.
At the same time, I like the strength that President R19 Body projects. So I think he has my vote.
I want to say my favorite. There's a difference between my favorite candidate and the one I would actually vote for. My favorite is definitely President R19 Body. What can you even say? Admitting to adultery, admitting to dealing drugs, using drugs. Not a lot of political candidates are going to do that. That was a big power move. A lot of power moves for President Biden.
And he's overcome it. Like he was born blind. And is running for president. Like he's done a lot.
I will. This is our quick after debate take. I will say I think for Mr. Phil Collins, a little bit of a muted debate performance tonight. I would say a little muted.
Definitely a little flat. Didn't come out swinging, which the Prohibition Party really needed him to do.
Yeah, I mean we've got a big platform here on Dark Matters.
Yep.
And, we're getting newsletter subscribers in the chat. We're getting people Googling these candidates. There's a big opportunity here, and really taking advantage of this could really, expand the platform. What about J.R. Myers? How do we feel about his performance in the debate tonight, coming on strong at the end there.
Yeah, he that moment of crosstalk with President Body, I don't know if that did him any favors. I don't know if you noticed this in during the debate, but he did the crazy circling the ear thing with his finger when President Body was talking, and I don't know if that really is going to sit well with the voting
I guess
public.
We'll see when we take a look at the results of the poll. And Kyle Kenley Kopitke, some controversial ideas, but very, very polite.
Yes.
Very polite. And
yes, and it's maybe not his fault, but I do wish he would have addressed that his initials are KKK when we talked about race relations in the during the debate.
That's on us. We should have really asked that question. There are a lot of questions, good questions people came up with. We should have just asked the candidates. So, this was our first time. No, this was not our first time. What am I talking about? This was our second time moderating a political debate.
It's true.
We've already had a gubernatorial and a Senate debate a couple of years ago, featuring reality.
Though it's our first time over Zoom.
Where we had reality TV sensation Shubham Goyal, the winner of our first gubernatorial debate. All right, let's take a look.
Yes, and next to last in the California presidential or California
That's right, but not last. So that shows you the effect that dark matters can have on a political candidate. Okay, I'm going to say the results. The results are in. We're taking a look at our post-debate poll. This is a poll of debate watchers on who they thought won the debate. Let me bring this up here. Overwhelmingly, Jerome Siegel, Bread and Roses Party, 90%
landslide
of the vote. 90% of the vote for Jerome Siegel. 1 vote for President R19 Body and 0 for the other 3 candidates. That's a pretty strong result here.
That's definitely a strong result for the Bread and Roses Party and for Siegel himself, who I think really he came off as presidential, sort of a Jeremy Corbyn, an American Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, I know. Definitely being from the Bronx, which is where he's from, and being Jewish, definitely reminded me of a lot of people that I grew up around. Definitely had a paternal vibe to him. Somebody who's learned, definitely projecting that knowledge.
Yeah, I don't know. Claiming to be educated doesn't seem to work in American politics. But he did brag about his doctoral degree. So we'll see how that plays in the election on November 3rd.
We'll see how many votes he gets. There is your result. A striking victory for Jerome Siegel and the Bread and Roses Party. Second place, President R19 Body from the CUP. We also failed to ask him what the CUP was.
I assume it just means like it is you're supposed to read it as like CUP as in watch you urinate.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. That's probably what it is, man.
Pretty sure.
Don't forget to click on the spam links in the chat if you want to buy followers for your social media. That was really great. It's already 11:30, so we're gonna flip it over to After the Matters. Boom, there it is. I click a button and it happens. Big time support coming from the Sammers. And joining us here on After the Matters, it's Hunter. And guys, give us a call, 818-650-3275, 650-DARK. Let us know what you thought about the debate. Give us a call. What were your thoughts on the debate, Hunter? Did you check it out?
I checked out the second half of it because I was dealing with some local politics.
What were you dealing with?
Because the second half of this, first off, there's nothing better than this show that I just watched falling into it midway. Because holy shit, these people are amazing, and I adored it. No, I was dealing with a local law that was causing me problems, and so I had to deal with an issue, and I missed the first 10 minutes, and I felt very bad. But that's why you also got to vote for the local elections. That's what I want.
That's
That's
true.
really important.
Vote down
Yeah,
the
we don't
ballot.
get a lot of local. I guess it's a presidential election, so there's not a lot of local issues at play there.
To be clear, this local issue was that I had ordered weed and then it showed up after 10 and they weren't allowed to give it to me.
Oh,
Wow.
That's like the driver sent me a desperate text begging me to race downstairs. It was the weirdest
wow.
fucking thing.
So no weed after 10 o'clock. I didn't know that.
That seems
Yeah, so
silly.
that's a thing that's like next year if I'm still pissed, I can do
Yeah,
something
you
about
can-
that.
You should run.
But then I'm doing it.
On
I'm
when
running.
at what time if you were to run, what time would you extend weed deliveries to?
I mean, 10:15 is fine. That's when they said it was coming.
So just a 15-minute extension.
It seems like that's on the company for you know, they should have just sent that guy out or like rejected your order, but I'm sure they wanted the money and screwed over the driver.
Yeah, no, I felt bad, and I'm going to send an email saying like, by the way, the driver was amazing about it. It was just a weird fucking thing. I don't want anyone getting in trouble. I just want lots of marijuana.
Mother of Groblin saying weed delivery should be
But, like,
24/7. Now we had two candidates drop out of the debate at the last minute.
Yeah.
That was Bill Hammonds, who I believe is an independent candidate, and then Jade Simmons. They dropped out at the last minute, which I'm only disappointed because if we had 9 people, then it would be 7 plus the 2 of us. It could make a full Hollywood Squares board.
A full. Yep.
But actually a shockingly low number of dropouts.
Yeah, and the Jorgensen campaign seems more interested in talking to us than they
Oh,
were
yeah,
initially,
this should-
though
we
we
should
did not
announce.
obviously get Joe Jorgensen.
Joe Jorgensen has basically agreed to be on the show. Her campaign manager emailed me back and says that they're going to get Joe Jorgensen on the show. So that's amazing. So that's something to look forward to. Joe Jorgensen, 8% of the vote in Alaska, a poll that came out. 100% of the vote in our presidential poll that we held a couple months ago.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that because I was worried I missed a Jorgensen appearance at the beginning after you told me there was a show.
No, I actually. So as part of this, we contacted 23 different candidates. So we ended up with 5, which is pretty good. Ice Cream Cone asking, "What is the debate about?" It was a presidential debate. You should check it out on the replay. We had 5 candidates. I wish we had clips or something that we could play for after the matters.
Yeah. Shit. We didn't do any banter, but I moved just today, and across the street my across the street neighbor has Joe Jorgensen signs in their front yard.
That's a sign that you're in the right place, I think.
Yeah.
That's a sign for the universe. Jeb Jones.
It's home.
Yeah, that's where you belong. I'm really surprised that President R19 Body only got 1 vote in our presidential poll. I just thought he would be so popular, but I guess.
Yeah.
I think I know why. It's because he's
Why?
already president.
Yeah. He's an incumbent.
He is already.
He's
president.
an incumbent. That is right. He's already a president, so he's kind of got to be judged on that.
It's a strange pitch that he already is the president.
It's definitely unorthodox, but not a lot of things about President R19 Body seem to be orthodox. We had at the very beginning of the show we had a child helping him set up his phone or computer.
Yes.
It was very charming. What about my intro that I made? Do we like my intro?
I love it. I would love to replace the regular intro.
Hunter, I'm gonna
with
replay
that
the
from
intro
now on.
just because I don't think a lot of people saw it, and I spent like 2 hours on it. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna replay it. This is
Yeah, I'm pulling up the screen to make sure
All
I
right.
can watch it and like have the right audio.
all right.
Okay, so I'm
All right,
muting you.
here it is. This is the intro that I made from the beginning of the debate. Live from Los Angeles, California, this is Dark Matters presents the second presidential debates. That was it.
Okay, you have to use that
Yeah,
every week.
just
no
replace
matter whether or
replace
not
the
there's-
text, I guess.
Yeah.
Even that, I'm.
Do Eagles caw? I don't know if Eagles caw. That's my wife Stephanie doing the caws.
Is
Yeah.
that so? Wow. That's very cute.
Oh, wait, isn't it that like that thing where like dinosaurs didn't roar at all? So like, there's a cut of Jurassic Park where it's just.
Oh
squeaking.
yeah. Well, I really like those videos where people just mute all the audio and then they do like a sound design and you only hear like the clothes ruffling and stuff. Somebody does those and I'm a huge fan.
Aren't those usually like college projects?
I don't know. I think
Like I've seen so many of them because like I know you're an editor, but like I've seen so many people have those like as their reels on their website of watch me recreate a scene from a famous movie.
maybe like just show how good they are at sound design. But the ones I'm talking about are like funny.
Oh yeah, no, that's much
Yeah.
much better. Yeah.
Look at this. What do you think of this new layout by Lo? I've made us bigger. I've cropped the sides.
Yeah, I like it. I like seeing my face as large as possible.
Yeah, people can see your face now because you're usually quite dark.
That's true.
God, I keep trying to ban the trolls, but they leave before you can even ban them. It's really disappointing.
Feels like they're all posting literally the exact
Yeah.
same message, and Twitch should, at this point, have figured it out and ban
Yeah.
everybody who tries to post that message.
It's like Twitch has noticed the furry thing you did last week, but it hasn't noticed.
Yeah.
this. Like how the fuck?
That's true.
did
Oh,
that
we
happen?
should talk about
we never
that.
talked about
Yeah.
how. So the Pack Theaters Twitch channel went dark for Monday for I guess it was Sunday last week, and we think it's our fault.
No, we're
It's your fault.
99.9% sure it's our fault.
But we're not totally sure for
Right.
what,
The reason
right?
that they gave was, I can read it in my email, which is really confusing because we had a stripper on the show for Michael Bilo's bachelor party last week, but like she was wearing like a full knee-length dress. So it didn't seem too racy to me, but what they said here, sorry, I gotta scroll down. I'm trying to read in my email. Here it is. So this is the reason that Twitch gave. Reason, wearing or uploading content featuring inappropriate attire. That was the reason that they gave. So I don't know what that means. If it was who wore the inappropriate attire, which makes me think maybe it was not the stripper and maybe it was the video of the furry that I played for context.
Yes.
I
We should
I
play the
genuinely
video
believe-
again just to test out the theory.
No, I don't think we should.
Okay,
Hunter, sorry.
I genuinely believe it just like it got triggered so many times in the fucking chat when you kept saying like even the word bachelor party got starred
Yeah.
out. It's insane. Like what
Oh, really?
what they think is fun. So like they kept seeing the words bachelor party, sex, all those things, and then kaboom, they were triggered. to
Yeah.
look for it.
Somebody suggested,
That's
I think it was Zach, who is like a Twitch expert or something who helps the pack. He had said that Twitch might have a bot that looks for stripper poles. Like it like detects stripper poles. I hope I'm attributing that to the right person, but so that seemed crazy to me, that it just has like a content bot that's like trained to look for stripper poles. But I could guess I could see that. But they don't have a bot that can delete the spam that we get, the same spam. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they spent so much money on the second bot that says, wait, is this a workout stripper pole or is it a sex stripper pole? Because that that's algorithm.
818-650-3275 if you want to talk to us.
3275.
None of the Joe Jorgensen gang was present for the debate today.
It's too bad, because I hope some of them are watching, and if they want to call in, they will.
Also, no message from the Tooth Man this week. The Tooth Man has gone silent.
Been a couple weeks.
Toothman does not want to interfere in elections.
Well, next week is Halloween and a wedding, or is that
next week is Bilo is getting married next Friday.
I will be married by the time the next
crazy.
The next show happens.
Okay. By the way, I don't know if Frank told you, but I convinced Frankie to let me do a prank in your After the Matters show next week.
All right, we've got a call.
Great.
Dark Matters.
This is Dark Matters.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
First time caller, first
oh,
time
even
watcher.
better. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, fantastic. How's the Pack Theater doing nowadays?
You would have to ask people who control it more than who really run it.
I think it's doing.
Certainly, we don't do a lot of.
Yeah, we're doing great on Twitch. We've got a lot of momentum. We've got some great viewership going on, but we're not. We're in LA. We can't really open the physical theater. It's looking like it's going to be quite a while. But we've got classes going on online classes, which seem to be doing pretty well. But that's all we know. I don't know too much more.
Fantastic. Real question: what do you think about Second City being up for sale now?
Bilo, you're from Chicago. You should take this one.
So yeah, Second City. Second City and also IO, the Improv Olympic.
IO, yeah.
Are both up for sale. I think Second City being up for sale is not so terrible. Like, it has a definable product. Like, it's like a real business, and they have like real professional shows. And they pay the people who play there.
Can I just butt in and say we did. we did prank call Sharna Halpern about 6 weeks ago on our show. We called her at like midnight Chicago time, and she picked up, and she wasn't too happy.
Yes.
Of course, Sharna would do that. I'm sorry, but yes.
So like I think Second City, the business probably works. So I think it's probably fine. IO I think is like completely boned. And is like probably it is worth whatever the amount of the land that it's on is valued at, and like nothing else, because there's just like not really a business there that works.
Right. I mean, with iOS closing, 2 years ago? It doesn't make sense.
I feel like it was longer ago than that. Like, I remember iOS was full of guns. Like, people were selling guns and drugs out of the Loft Theater, what used to be the Loft Theater at iOS, where Frankie and I, I'm sure, have done tons of shitty improv shows.
I've done tons of shitty shows, and I've done like a handful of really great shows in the Loft at iOS, which is now a meth den or something like that. This is crazy.
Yeah. And UCB, the UCB Sunset is up for sale.
Wait, what? I was just about to ask you about UCB, but it's up for sale.
Yeah. Well, this is my reading of Seth Simon's Substack newsletter. Is that it sounds like the Sunset UCB space is for sale, and they're just trying to like get out of it and convert it to a nonprofit and like not have to, they've been kind of like the quote unquote UCB4, which I think is such a weird way of referring to these people.
Speaking of, and I hate to interrupt again, but we had Matt Walsh on the show last week for your bachelor party. I just like bragging about weird people that we had.
Oh God, I'll have to watch that.
I mean, I paid him on Cameo to do a cameo and make fun of Michael, but I think that counts as having him on the show.
But how much of the
it was an $80 donation to the Joe Biden campaign, so that was like easy choice.
Did he make a Veep reference?
Yeah, sure. If I wouldn't maybe pay.
I mean, I feel like his face is a huge Veep.
Yeah,
Veep
I asked him to just roast Michael about never making a Herald team, and he followed the directions, so I'm thankful for that. But I probably should have had him talk about Veep too.
Oh, okay. Let's kind of get real for a moment. Seth Simon has a vendetta about UCB. Why do you think that is? Because he never made a Herald
Probably,
team?
right? I'm sure he went at least through 401, right? You think he failed 401 like twice? I bet he did.
I don't. He didn't get to advance. He didn't get to advance.
Well, that's because you got to take 401. I mean, 401 is like the OT3 of UCB. So that's really the wall of fire where after that point you're in advanced, and that's where shit gets really real. So I'm not surprised that people get knocked back.
I kind of like this being anonymous and talking about UCB.
I kind of like it too. Why not? This is After the Matters. Anything goes.
Oh man. So they're selling Sunset, which makes sense because that was a horrible theater. It was so huge you couldn't hear any laughter.
The Sanctum, Inner Sanctum, like putting teams up in the Inner Sanctum was like the shows.
We can't see you, by the way. Yeah, like there's like a blue light on one side and a purple light on the other side, and then a bright white light on the other side. It was like total in like a cavern.
Can I come in and say I kept hitting my fucking head on the speakers on the way to the stage?
I refer to it as the inner cafeteria.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's.
One of the guys who worked at the cafeteria proposed and spearheaded a show at the Pack Theater, an improv show called Nips and Tips.
Yeah, that's when I saw Michael Bilo's penis through transparent mesh underpants. That was a great improv show.
That was a great improv show. I wore nipple clamps during the entire show.
Didn't I pull on them?
Nipple clamps really hurt. They really hurt. You made me jump up and down, I think, and one of them fell off because I was jumping up and down, and they really hurt. They like fill your body with pain. I haven't used them since, but now I'm glad I got to experience it.
Oh, can I wait? I want to talk about the Inner Sanctum. What it reminded me of, which was when I was in Hebrew school, we used to have to go to we used to have to sing songs at an the Hebrew Home for the Aged. They have two locations. One is like really nice where like rich famous people go, and then there's a charity home which is for like people who don't have any family and they're too poor and they're elderly and sick. So they would send us to that one, to the charity home, and we would have to sing like Hebrew songs to the residents there. So we would just go in this like room with like two windows, and they would just wheel out like 15 people, and we would sing songs in Hebrew to them. That's what performing the Inner Sanctum reminded me of.
Wait, hold on. When you say wheel out 15 people, is that like they died?
No, they were in wheelchairs, Hunter. That was actually the first time I ever saw a vagina. Was a woman that was in the front row, and she was like passed out, and she was not wearing underwear. I know it's gross, but that was actually better than performing in the Inner Sanctum.
Wait, can I talk about the time that I saw a kidney in someone's ball sack that was better than performing in the Inner
Sure.
Sanctum?
Why not? Are we roasting UCB Inner Sanctum now?
It
I'm
was-
for it.
Let's go for it.
It was my ex's dad had like a kidney thing, and it went into his ball sack, and you could
What?
see it. And
What
it
are
was
you talking about?
Like a
but
stone?
like it went down there. It was like a hurricane
What?
thing. And that was still better acoustics than performing at the Inner Sanctum.
If you're a doctor and want to tell us about kidney things that can go into people's balls, give us a call, 818-650-3275. That's
What the
818-650.
living fuck Hunter are you talking about?
Can I
Please.
ask you, gentlemen? You look very familiar. When did you take classes? I believe out west, not east. I believe I might have taken a class with you in the.
Oh, I never took class at IO. I think I
No.
Oh, UCB.
UCB.
Should I just search my email for a UCB class confirmation and count how much
found a
money that I
bunch,
spent
but,
on UCB classes? I mean, probably 20.
Yeah.
Oh no, I spent. I
Okay,
I took classes in Chelsea. I got to 301 in Chelsea, and then I went out
okay.
west.
Sorry,
And then you have to,
Yeah,
you go out west.
to make it.
It was about 2 years when it got started, so then I have to
Yeah.
start again because they didn't. Yeah.
All right, so my first, UCB, Nick Weiger, Sketch 101. That was September 16th, 2008. My first improv class, July 13th, 09. And then, let me see. The last class I took was 2017. March of 2017.
All right, you did spend more money than me, but I did take a class with Weiger, and he was actually very good at teaching sketch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's
but,
great. I mean, he's like a working writer now.
he had a great
Yeah.
sketch class. Yeah, well, yeah.
Or he's on like a podcast, right? I know it's like one of the biggest podcasts or something, and then they like review food. But I don't know what it's called.
It's called
That's right.
Go Boys. I brought it up 2 weeks ago and I forgot the name of it, even though I used to listen to it regularly, but hadn't touched it like nearly in the last year, and I feel terrible.
Shay Flash 10 in the chat saying she took a great sketch class with
Wait,
Mike
so
Delaney.
when did you get into town, Anonymous?
So I want to say 2010 is when I moved out to LA.
That's when I got here too, actually. By the way, my name's Hunter. I'm like the weirdo who's not on camera.
Fair enough, Hunter. Nice to meet you. Anonymous. The only reason I'm anonymous, I'm still in touch with people. I like to shit on the UCB, but I don't want to be known.
Now I just want to know who you are, because I'm sure I know who you are. I just
Whoa, damn.
Wow. We're going to out our anonymous caller here. All right, here we go. Now I've got it.
I am not Seth Simon. That's all I mean.
Okay. All right.
I have moved back to Middle America since the
Yeah,
COVID,
you feeling
so.
good about that?
Yeah, actually, because this area is not that bad, and I'm not fully locked down. I'm just glad I got out beforehand.
Yeah. Is that a
is all.
permanent move, or are you going to come back, or what are you thinking?
No, I failed. I did not make any writers' rooms. I didn't even get any punch-ups. I'm just apparently not that funny, so I'm back home and just going to live a normal life now. Spending a lot of money failing in my life.
Well,
So, no.
I think you sound
I mean, it's
I think you
okay.
sound really nice, and I don't think you're a failure at all. So there you go.
I appreciate it.
Worth noting, you can now take these classes over Twitch at
Well, you can take
taptheater.com.
online classes. That's right.
Wow. Yeah, you can do more improv classes if that.
You
If
want to spend
that.
more
If,
money on improv classes.
That's all I need in my life is Zoom long form
Yeah.
improv.
That's
the
right.
one thing in my life I
Well,
wish I
or
had.
you could always start a
Nothing
theater.
like zip,
Yeah,
zap,
start a
zop.
theater wherever you are, and then tell everybody that you studied at UCB, and then pretend that you're great at improv, which maybe you are. And then you can be like the guru
It's
of your local area. I know some people that did that.
Yeah. Though a lot of those types, no offense to any of those people, but a lot of those types are like just trying to creep on much younger
Well,
women.
that goes without saying. Yeah.
Eh.
Why else would you teach improv if you're a guy? I like that Text Edit has said that talkin' is a that's another behind the matters, that this text is from Text Edit, and it's saying that talkin' is spelled wrong. I should turn off spell check. Edit. Tech. Yeah, I should definitely narrate out loud as I click through this window.
No, that's helpful.
There's a question in chat, or not a question, but UCB New York is better than LA. I have to disagree with that. I have to. I found more camaraderie in LA than I did in New York.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think in LA, there's more of an opportunity to hang out, like, anywhere versus, like, in New York, you can be from any part of the city. That can be much further away. Like, I feel like LA, because all the theaters were so centralized, like, you could do a show at IO and a show at UCB and watch your friend's show at UCB Sunset all in one night and, like, make a huge thing of it and be connected to everyone.
Yeah.
Whereas New York City just feels disconnected to me. I'm from there.
Jay Fleisch 10 saying the performers were better in New York. You know, I was always too intimidated to go to UCB in New York because everybody just seemed like they knew each other. I'm from New York. I saw like 2 shows there because it was just like this line of people who were acting like they were better than me. So I literally never went there.
Yes. Okay.
No, I'm sorry, Hunter. Go on. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no. I had very little. Please.
Well, no. So, as the commenter was saying, yes, they were better in New York, but they all went to L.A. once L.A. opened up.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That was my only comment. Yeah.
Yeah. Did Frankie take his shit, Brother Wags?
Like,
No. I'm currently, and this is some prime after the matters, I'm currently very constipated.
Yeah.
I ate an entire 14-inch vegan pizza today during the Dodgers game, and I have not been able to go to the bathroom. So there's some behind the scenes for you.
Yeah, you're a Dodgers fan.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
What the fuck? You're a Dodgers
Well,
fan.
you know, actually on my birth, this is weird. So my dad and my grandpa were both Dodgers fans, and on my birth announcement, I actually have a little tiny LA hat from when I was a baby. But then my dad, but I'm from the Bronx. But my dad worked at Shea Stadium as a souvenir vendor, so I have a very complicated relationship to baseball.
See, I was named after Catfish Hunter. My middle name is Mattingly. It's all perfect. But here's the fucking thing. There's a baby photo of me at like 4 days old, and I'm in a full fucking jersey. I think I've shown you.
Oh.
Well, at least the Astros lost.
Like.
Yes. Though I would have enjoyed Dodgers Astros World Series only if the Dodgers like swept the Astros in like really painful Game 3 humiliating fashion in every game.
Feel like our anonymous caller is not a baseball fan, as he has not chimed in. No,
yeah,
that's fine.
Sorry, I'm not. I will tell you, we do have a minor league team here. We'll let you know where I'm at. Called the Smokies, which I believe they are the minor league team for either Boston or New York.
I don't think they're New York because I feel like I'm too much of an idiot.
Tennessee
that I would know
Smokies
that.
are a Double-A affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. I didn't know that.
Cubs. Oh, well, I was totally wrong there. My bad.
The best thing about going to like a minor league baseball game is that like you can get on the Jumbotron real easily. I used to do that when I was in college. It was so easy to get on the Jumbotron.
Oh, okay. Go to a minor league baseball game. Here's what you do: find a wall. All right.
Find
That's
a
all you gotta
wall?
do. Find a wall.
What do you mean find a wall?
Okay, I'm not even joking. The Las Vegas stadium where the Mets have a wall because they had to have a bathroom and it's off to the side, so there's a wall, a bathroom, and a concessionaire right there. Every foul ball was hit off that wall, and they just hit the wall and they rolled right down. And I just kept getting balls and giving them to kids. It was the nicest fucking feeling in the world.
Oh, that's nice.
That's how kind of the Smokies Stadium is. Once they hit a home run, it just goes out in the parking lot, and you just stand out there. You don't even have to go to a game. You get 4 to 5 balls.
Yeah, and like you give it to a kid and you make their day.
I did that once at Dodger Stadium. I was sitting in left field, and I got hit on a line drive in the leg by a Matt Kemp foul ball. Like, hit me in the leg, and I got a giant bruise on my leg. But there was a couple sitting next to me. They were on a first date, and I thought it would be really nice to give them the ball. It's like one of my top 50 regrets in life because that was really stupid. I had like a giant welt on my leg for like a month from this foul ball, and I gave the ball to this couple that probably never went on another date. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's why kids are better.
Yeah. It's like I was like, me giving them a foul ball is gonna like start their romance or something. That's how narcissistic I am. Sorry, caller.
Oh no, I didn't mean to interrupt you. We had about 5 years ago. Apparently, a bat got swung, hit a little kid in the head, and now we have all the nets. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So yeah, it's all just nets now apparently, but I don't think they're playing any games now due to the issues we're having. But yeah.
Yeah. Caller, I'm assuming did you get the chance to check out our presidential debate?
I've not. I've catch you guys several times. I'm not really up this late much.
Oh yeah. This is real. Oh yeah, you're on the East Coast.
3:00 in the morning. For
Oh
me.
yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for calling. Oh, that was just what was before.
Yeah. No problem.
Because we had a presidential debate earlier tonight. So we had President R19 Body. That's his real name. He's on the ballot in Louisiana.
Kyle Kenley Kopitke.
I had this whole thing. I was gonna steal Connor Ratliff's, 35, I could be president bit last year. I started doing it for about 7 months, and like, I'm getting on the ballot. I'm gonna do this, and then COVID happened when I turned 35, and I couldn't do it. It was like, oh no, I've been doing this for like 7 months. I'm gonna be your president. This is what's happening. Vote for me. I have legal age. Win the ballot. We can get on the ballot. I'll be your legal age. I will be your best president. And then COVID happened, and I feel ashamed now that I spent all that time, and a disease could not make me finish my bit.
What did you do? How far did you go to run for president?
I had 2 months in local television, I'm just getting out myself, in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh no, we knew that already.
From the Smokies.
Yeah. In Knoxville, Tennessee, I had 2 months of ads going on. When I heard the virus was kind of going on, I was like, I'm coming out here. I don't have any jobs. I got to go back to mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
So I come out back, but then I go to Knoxville and I get my my public access show. I had about 2 months of shows of just vote for me. I am legal age to be your president.
So you
I'm sorry, go on.
were able to just get a public access show in Knoxville by saying I want one?
It's public access,
Yeah,
Mike. That's how it works.
Yeah, the shows is all about Jesus or Jesus. And so it was about 11:30 at night. You have to pre-record it. You can't do it live. So I mean, I really wanted to call in show,
Yeah.
but I have a buddy of mine who's an editor and a cinematographer. He just kind of helped me out, just filming stuff for me, and it was. I will be your president because I am legal age. I ran that bit for so long. Before that was social media, everything. When I would come back and visit my family and everything, anyone I met, it's anonymous. I will be your president. And then COVID happened. It's like, damn it.
Yeah. Well, you could have been on. I bet if you had made it on the ballot, I probably would have emailed you to be on our debate because I emailed like 24 different candidates.
True.
I have the receipts.
Also, can I just say, like, thank goodness you didn't have to deal with COVID as president.
Yeah.
Like,
I
would have been. Like,
Yes.
like being president would be cool, but being president during a pandemic sounds like it sucks even for Donald Trump.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm glad I'm not president now. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But if you still want to vote for me, just write anonymous on your ballot. Not anonymous, Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I still might have a chance.
You never know. That's what a lot of the candidates in our debates said. That all it takes is one. If you win one state, you might convince, Congress to make you the president. So.
Right. My city has the former WWE wrestler Kane as their mayor.
Is that true?
That's not happening. Yes, that's 100% true. Look up the mayor of Knoxville County. It is Kane from the WWE.
Wow, Republican mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. That's crazy. We should get him on.
With Glenn Jacobs, yeah.
Should I knock something over? And I think.
See,
no, I think that's
my
background noise.
hometown had who's that
me.
guy? The Mankind.
He's just called Mankind.
Mick Foley. He was in my hometown, so like I would
Mick
always
Foley, yeah.
at the grocery store, and like he looks like him. It's the most jarring thing in the world. Like watching him push a cart around.
My city I grew up in had Rudy Giuliani as the mayor when I was.
But didn't he save your city?
He was physically present. He was physically present in our city.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I was in New York before Manhattan, before he was president. Not president, God, mayor. 'Cause I want to see that seedy New York. I want to see that whole.
Yeah, the taxi driver, New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Midnight Cowboy,
The-
New York.
Yeah,
The James Franco presents James Franco's New York.
yeah.
That HBO show.
James Franco feels like. All right, I have a theory about one specific actor that I want to bring up.
Sure.
Because I think it's how I feel about James
This
Franco,
is the place.
but not him. Can I bring up this theory?
Sure.
Please.
James Franco and specifically the actor from Hill House and The Invisible Man. They feel like they were just born and suddenly they were models and suddenly they were movie stars, but they didn't actually live like in between. And so they're like synthetic, but good at their job, but synthetic.
What do you mean? Like James Franco is a robot or
Well,
something?
like compare Dave Franco to James Franco.
Yeah.
Dave Franco feels like there's more there.
Yeah, Dave Franco.
Well,
Dave Franco,
didn't he
my
get, like,
friend,
a
edited
master's
his movie
degree?
and says he's like a good guy. So I've heard good things about Dave Franco. James Franco, not so much.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah. I mean, I was at one of the film schools he was applying to when he was trying to go to 17 film schools at once, and like my school was the only one that's like, shut the fuck up, idiot.
Columbia University is like PhD in film for you.
Yeah.
You teach here now.
Yeah, and like I had friends who were there at the time. They're like, yeah, I never saw him.
Did any of you watch the James Franco documentary about SNL?
I didn't know there was a James Franco documentary about SNL.
No,
Yeah.
he made it?
Yeah, he made it. I believe that was his thesis project in college after he was already famous, when he went back to school. It's pretty pretentious, to be honest with you. It shows like the behind the scenes, but it's more like it's infuriating, to be honest.
Saturday Night
It's online.
is the name of the movie.
Yeah.
Shot over a period of 6 days from
Right.
December 1st to 6th, 2008. School assignment at New York University.
While he was also at Columbia.
Yeah. And who was the guest? It was
It's John
John
Malkovich.
Malkovich,
Yeah,
I believe was the
I'm on
host.
the Wikipedia
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
I should ask Bill Hader about that. I should watch it.
Oh, Hader's in there.
Yeah, it says on Wikipedia. I guess he was in the cast. Yeah, that's funny.
I think he was in the what was that commercial with the phone number? Because that was one of the things that got on. 800-2300. I can't think of it right now. Sorry.
Philo, are you falling asleep?
I am very exhausted from moving starting at 8 a.m. today.
Yeah. All right, should we get off? Because I could just I could chat with this caller for hours and hours. I feel a kinship with this caller, but it is 12:15 at night.
I kind
Fair
of
enough.
desperately want this, show to end so I can find out who this caller is.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's the point of being anonymous, I guess.
That's why that's why we are a call-in show.
Yeah.
When are you live next? And I will do my best to call back in and maybe give you a couple hints.
Sure. So it's every Saturday. It would be 1 a.m. Eastern time. So Saturday night into Sunday morning, 1 a.m. So good luck.
That's when we start. That's when we start. So
Yeah, that's the start time.
Can I be a schmuck right now, though?
Please.
Because I want to say,
Schmuck means
anonymous
penis.
caller, if you really want to be pissed off, I host a show that starts at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday night. If you want to hang out with me.
What
You can also
on the
leave us a message.
Pack channel?
Yeah, Friday nights. It's called Go Sketch Yourself. Twitch, midnight Pacific time.
What's
so
your
just
show
if,
about?
1 a.m. is too early for you.
So Go Sketch Yourself. What's that about, if you don't mind me asking?
You ever see a show called Not Too Shabby? When you're
Yes.
out here?
Yeah, that was anybody could just come up and give sketches.
Right. So we took that and we turned it into an insane talk show over at the Pack, and we're still doing it. And now we're like shooting a movie at 5 minutes every week. A lot of to like build up. Like we've done 2 seasons. Season 1 was Jurassic Park. Season 2 is dinosaurs. Season 2 is horror movies. We're doing nonsense, but it'll start at 3 a.m. and I want you to be awake at 3 a.m.
I maybe. Actually, that sounds fantastic. But that also reminds me, were any of you guys involved with 101's RoboCop movie? That just reminds me of that.
That's one of the inspirations for what we're doing. Is
Okay.
basically just the idea was 52 weeks, 5 minutes each week to shoot 1 2-minute scene. And then by the end of the year, there will be a movie.
Oh, that's great. Okay, I will set alarms for
Oh,
next
baby.
week.
Aren't we doing that
Okay,
on
here's
this
the other
show
thing,
next
though.
week?
You can watch that.
Hunter, aren't we shooting a scene for that?
You can watch that like. Oh yes, yeah. Next week in After the Matters, we're gonna put Dark Matters in Go Sketch Yourself.
Oh my god, I'm excited.
Me too. Like you are actually gonna be both the funny part and the exposition.
Well, that's
Just
what I've
so we
always
can make
been.
sure people-
The exposition. I've
Yeah.
never been in a movie that I've not been cut out of. I'm not like you, Hunter. I haven't been in a Nigerian romantic thriller. Is that the genre of that movie that you were in?
I absolutely was in a Nigerian romantic thriller and got cut out of it, except for a scene where I sat there for 5 minutes.
All right, we gotta do that.
So Hunter, it was.
Oh, sorry. You go, caller.
I'm sorry, Hunter. I'll give you a little hint who I am. I'm a fat guy that was in 2 Funny or Die videos.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying.
Hey.
That could
That guy
literally
was
be
in 2
anybody.
Funny or Die videos.
Yeah, could be.
I think I'm a
probably-
fat guy
probably
who's
a
been in 2
Memphis.
Funny or Die videos too.
I've been in a Funny or Die video where Hunter throws rocks at my head.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that still gets play. I love that video so much. It's so dumb.
I meant.
I love you guys. This has been great. I'm just glad I found this.
Yeah.
I will definitely see you.
All right, awesome. 1 in the morning.
Tell
time.
your friends.
Oh,
and
sign up.
and give
Go
us a
if you
call.
go on our website, you can sign up for our mailing list, and then you'll get an email about the show every Saturday. I'll tell you what the show's about. So this is darkmatters.com.
Well, that'll give me out who I am.
Oh,
My
that's
name.
right.
So I got to rename my
Well, what do
daughter.
you mean? We have
You
tens
don't
of
have a
thousands of
murder email
subscribers. Of course, we'll never know who signed up for it. We have millions of people on this list.
Gentlemen, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for a fantastic time.
Thank you, sir.
Great show you guys have here.
Thank you.
It was great meeting you and probably meeting you again, anonymous caller.
Love it.
Have a good night,
Night.
guys.
You too.
Love it. What a great call from Knoxville, Tennessee. That's the cool thing about doing a show on the internet. You could reach somebody in Tennessee.
That's right. At 3 in the
At
morning.
3 in the morning. You can have. I don't even know where all the other people, like President Body, I don't actually know where they live. I think most of them are on the East Coast, so.
President Body lives in either New York or New Jersey, I think. And yeah, Kopitke, I think, is in Libertyville, Illinois, which is suburbs of Chicago.
Oh, I thought he was in Utah for some reason. Maybe because he's Mormon. All right. Well, you're literally falling asleep. I am so jazzed, as I am always at the end of all these shows. We've been on for 2 hours and 17 minutes. It's insane.
It's been a while.
Thank you
for
guys
sticking
who stuck
with us,
around.
everybody who's
Hunter,
here.
thank you again.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun to watch and just such a fun energy.
So- love it. All right, we're gonna sign off now before Bilo falls asleep. The winner, I'm just gonna flash
That's
this
right.
up. No, I deleted it. Jerome Siegel. I guess I'll email him and let him know he won.
Jerome Siegel.
9 votes to 1. Jerome Siegel over President R19 Body.
I bet he knows based on that look on his face the entire time.
Hey, you never know. President Body's vice presidential nominee emailed me saying he loved the show. Whoa, we got an email from the Tooth Man 1 minute ago. Oh no.
Oh my
What the
God.
fuck?
Oh, suddenly
Suddenly
I'm
you're
awake
awake?
again. Suddenly I'm awake again.
What is happening?
Oh
Nobody
my
is here to see
God.
this because they were like, you were just talking to a guy for 45 minutes. Gaming with Cayman suspiciously just said night, everybody. Maybe he's the Tooth Man.
Maybe the guy who called us
That would
is
be
the
amazing.
Tooth Man. If that was a real Toothman call, that would be.
What's so annoying is
mean-
that the password for the Toothman email involves an accent that I don't know how to type on my keyboard, so I always have to go back and copy and paste it. All right, here we go.
Oh my God.
Oh
I'm
shit! I
so
should have done this
fucking tired.
in a window that I can pick up. Oh, it's another picture. All right, can I? Here we go. Feel like we could save this. Window capture. Is that what I want to do? Yes, window capture. This is the exciting part where I.
My
Tuta
God.
no ta.
Time to
There it is,
pull up.
baby.
Yep.
Confidential email from the Tooth Man.
See it. All right.
All right, I'm gonna cover Bilo's sleepy ass.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
it's another
Oh,
set
man.
of ones and zeros, but there's also a picture.
It's another
Can I
puzzle.
view the? Oh, I can't. All right, I can see the picture. Oh Lord.
All
I got.
right. Oh, Jesus. Horrible.
Or are you looking at the
Ugh.
picture? I'm gonna have to do another window capture here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on my own
For
own
preview.
machine.
Deantest.png. Here it is. This is the
horrible.
picture the Tooth Man sent. Deantest.png. That's the photo, and I guess should we copy and paste this into a
Yeah, and there's no
no
text, here.
just
There's no
ones
text.
and zeros.
Just a signature,
Yeah.
or not even like.
All right, I'm going to convertbinary.com. Maybe this is binary code. I'm gonna try to translate it. Oh my God! It just says.
Looks like
It just says securely sent with Tutanota. Get your own encrypted ad-free mailbox. That's
Are
what
you
it says
fucking
in
kidding me?
binary code.
Ah!
Oh, that's incredible.
Wait, hold on. Before we go, there was writing on those teeth, the ruler next to it. Could that be anything?
Let's see. It says Exp 143 2018. I don't know. I'm going to assume that the Tooth Man just pulled this off of the... Oh, should I do a reverse image search on this?
Reverse.
Yeah, we should do a reverse image search on it. Let's do that. Oh God, there's some ruffle noise. Man, Joe Wagner is going to be disappointed. I think he left the chat. He's our biggest Tooth Man fan. Okay, upload an image.
Yeah.
Deantis.
Joe is the tooth
Okay, we're
man.
uploading the file. All sizes. Okay, well, it's only found on these two websites here. Expressionforens.com, which looks like a Portuguese website. Etiopatogenia del
Super weird.
fenomeno del diente rosa postmortem. Oh gosh. Oh, there's the photo right there. Oh, those teeth were really gross, but he actually spared us, he or she spared us the grosser photo, which maybe that was their goal all along, to get me to scroll through that gross photo.
This is just some real marathon man
Wow.
shit right
Look at
now.
that.
By the way, I'm not tooth man. I'm not trying to push you through it. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, no, that was the right move. We had to do the reverse image search. Well, that was very humorous email again from the Tooth Man. Just doing a binary of the signature. Other duck saying, what was that one thing you did a couple weeks ago?
We still don't know what. Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Other Duck. Oh, here you can see my email from Dark Matters. Let's go to my starred email for Dark Matters. These are all the candidates that I emailed. Brother Wags. Brother Wags missed the Tooth Man. Here it is. This is the email from the Tooth Man. It's a binary code. We translated it, and it just says, securely sent with Tutanota. Get your own encrypted ad-free mailbox. That's pretty funny. And then this is the photo that he sent. Oh, steganography decipherer. That's right. And then we found that on this Brazilian... It only exists on a Brazilian forensics webpage, so it's not like a stock photo you would easily find. So that's very interesting. What's that?
Yeah.
webpage called? Stenography. What is that called?
I don't remember.
Steganography.
I'm,
Hold on,
I'm
I
gonna
gotta
fall
run this.
asleep. I can't stay
I'm gonna
awake
just
any
try
longer.
to decode, see if anything comes through that. Okay, I'm clicking decode. Doesn't look like there's a hidden message in here. Oh wait, there's binary in here. There's a bunch of binary in here.
What?
Look, can you see it on? If
No
you
way.
look in the
No
decode window,
fucking
can you see
way.
it? It's got like, cause look, the data of the
Yeah, I
image
see
is
it.
all this shit. There's nothing, and then there's a bunch of binary. Should I copy and paste it?
I mean, you gotta
That's
try.
nuts. All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
copy that.
If
We'll
it,
go
if
into
it
the binary
is,
translator.
then this shit is getting
Okay.
insane.
I'm gonna paste this into the binary translator. Translate.
Yeah, I thought I was just like doing the hunter thing where I try and
SSAO
check in on
res
every-
evid rotacat. I don't know if this is a message. I mean, it's translating the letters. Maybe we're missing part of it. Oh, I missed some of the beginning. Do you think this is in like Portuguese or something? Viola, did you fall asleep?
I know
All
I'm
right,
not
let me
asleep,
try
but
added
I'm
some more
not-
characters.
I'm
Oh, it's
also-
less. Okay, so this is weird. I added extra characters, and now the binary doesn't say anything. So there, I think they may have hid a message in here, but it's just we're just not. Maybe I'm copying the wrong portion, or it's a little scrambled. That's weird.
I mean, it's inside. It like, if you look at a JPEG
Yeah.
or something like that, there are like headers in these files that are probably expressed in
Okay.
English.
Well, let's try that with like a
so-
regular. Let me find like a JPEG.
Or this is a
Yeah,
PNG,
I've got some
right?
I'll try. We'll try the PNG for our show. Okay. Decode that. There's no binary in here. I don't see any binary in the header of this. Nada. So,
Oh, man. Well,
what is?
okay.
Do you think this means anything in Portuguese? Maybe it's backwards. It's backwards. Look. Enca.
No way.
Confe. Tanto. Voce. O. Cacador. It's
Oh
backwards.
my god.
Is there an easy way to type? Is there an
Oh
easy
my
way to type
God.
something backwards? This is cool. Who's the tooth man? Which one of you in the chat is the fucking tooth man? Do we get a screen grab of the chat? How do I
Oh
type
my
backwards? There's
God.
gotta be.
Yeah,
Okay,
there's got to be
here
a
we go,
reverse.
reverse
Just
text.
like look up. Oh my god.
Here we go. Yeah. Enca confie tanto. I mean, this looks like it's Portuguese.
No, I mean, I think
What's
you're
the
right.
better translator? I forgot the name of it. This is crazy. Toothman strikes again.
Also, while this is happening,
Whoa.
I'm just going to throw in and say, thank you for watching twice on two separate devices.
I'm going to try. So this is what it says in Google Translate. They actually did emphasize, I
Whoa.
trusted you so much. The hunter must be the ass. I don't know what that means. I'm going to try Deep L. This is supposed to be a better translator. I have trusted you so much that the dog should be the ass, is what it says in Deep L. Google Translate says the hunter must be the ass. I don't know if they're talking about hunter. Is that something that...
I mean,
Hunter must be the ass. This says the dog should be the ass.
There is also
But it's
a
yeah. What is
There's a
Okakador?
Okakador is
Hunter Biden with
Yeah.
the Democratic.
the hunt. Okay, Okakador
that
is
part,
the
'cause
hunter
I
or
don't
the
know
dog.
If the
It's
hunter,
the hunter
the
or
dog?
the dog is what it says. And that doesn't seem
Interesting.
like something that would come from like a Google map, Google Translate. You know what I mean?
But yeah, is it so? I mean, who is the hunter?
Is it Hunter?
Is it Hunter? Or is it a dog?
Are we missing part of the message because there's this? Oh wait, I got. If I load it in here, if I load it in and decode it, there's like additional binary.
I bet there's.
I bet there's more to the message, but it's just scrambled at the top. What if I
I would also say that right now there's a famous hunter who is a Democrat slash
Oh yeah,
right now.
Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden. So that
An ass. Yeah.
All right. I feel like we should resolve this later because I'm going to fall asleep.
Ice Cream Cone says, do an MD5 check. All right. Well, you just fall asleep. MD5 checker. But isn't that just going to give me the checksum? Oh, it's a program. I can't do it online.
Oh, well, if you could use it to compare the Dientes image to the other one, just to see if they're the same. Like they
I
look
see.
the same, but if the MD5 checksums are different,
That will tell us that they
will tell
altered
us
the
something.
file. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's that one. And then I've got to download the one from the website, which is here. Okay, this is a good idea. That's a good idea, Ice Cream Cone. Oh, it's a fucking WebP. What the fuck is a WebP? It doesn't matter. Google WebP image. Here we go. Can I save image as now? It's like a WebP image. The fuck is WebP? Oh, I just went full.
I think it's like a
Well,
a data format,
Let me
but
drag
I don't
that
know.
on here. WebP. Wait, how do I compare it? Okay, this is the checksum of one of them. 3ABF blah blah blah. 19A78 blah blah. So two different checksums. Bilo, are you gone? That's crazy. So they did it on purpose.
I'm
Wow.
borderline
Well,
here.
Toothman. Wow, backwards. Emphasize, I trusted you so much the hunter must be the ass. I think we're missing part of the message. But that's kind of how things go with the Toothman. I can't believe it's 12:30 at night. We're
yeah, I've been on this call.
This is
for an hour.
amazing. Wow, the Toothman waited. He waited until right about where. That's another theme with the Toothman. Waited right till we're about to get on.
No, seriously, I'm looking at the list. I love it when people watch on two separate devices because number one, you get to get
Yeah.
more viewers, but number two, it's like, oh, they get to have two a multi-camera setup.
Wow, the Toothman. Who is it? I really don't know. And none of our people that we've privately suspected might be the Toothman were logged in at the time. Doesn't mean anything, but wow, another shocking Toothman under the radar. I don't know.
Crazy.
Last minute, what a show. I'm overwhelmed. All right, well, Bilo has literally disappeared from the ether.
I'm here.
He's
I'm
barely
still here.
here. Thank you guys for sticking around with us. If you missed the debate, check out the debate. Check out President R19 Body and our winner, Jerome Siegel, among other candidates who so graciously joined us. Thank you to Anonymous Caller. Thank you to Hunter. Thank you to the Pack Theater. I guess this,
Thank you all.
I guess this
Thank
means
you all.
good night. Good night, guys.